Okay, so instead of just putting up an answer key, I decided to put up a little, just me doing the problems, so you can watch and see how I do them. So on this first one, you're just meant to convert your fractions into decimals and then say, is it terminating or repeating? Remember, terminating decimal is one where you can calculate a quotient. You don't have a remainder that you can't figure out. And a repeating decimal is one that you cannot put in with a denominator of 10, 100, or 1,000, or a power of 10. It cannot be expressed in that way. If it's terminating, yes, it can be. And here's an example right here. This is terminating. This is 3/10. I don't even need to do any division, although every fraction is a division question. And I can do division to figure out that this is 0.3. I don't really need that because this actually tells me 3/10 when I say it out loud that it is 0.3. You see a tip over here. It reminds you that every fraction is a division question. 3/4 is equal to 3 divided by 4. And if you calculate that out, you get 0.75. Others I've just asked you to remember. So B, 1/3, is one that I've asked you to commit to memory. You can work it out, 1 divided by 3. But it's one you should remember is 0.3333333 enough times. It goes on forever. So that one is a repeating decimal. 0.3 repeating. So you should have a bar over the 3. Okay? And from that you can learn that 2/3 is 0.6 repeating. 7/8. So that one is maybe not one you've remembered. Maybe you remember 1/8 is 0.125 and you could figure it out based on that. But if you do have to calculate it and figure out what it is as a decimal, remember every fraction is a division question. 7/8 is equal to 7 divided by 8. And to be able to do that with long division, you need to know that the 7 goes inside this house-like thing and the 8 on the outside. And 8 goes into 7. I'm going to run out of room here, so I'll do it up just a second. Okay, so I've written it up here, so I have more room. 7 divided by 8. Put a decimal in there because I know my answer is going to be less than 1. I'm going to have to use a decimal, and I can go ahead and carry it right up to the top. Okay, so I don't forget it. 8 goes into 7 0 times. I can even add that 0 as a placeholder so I don't forget my decimal. 8 goes into 70 8 times. Okay, so then we have 8 groups of 8 is 64. From the 70, then that leaves a remainder of 6. We just keep adding zeros until we have a remainder divided out. So 8 goes into 60 7 times. 7 groups of 8 is 56. I get a remainder of 4. And finally, I've got rid of my remainder because 8 goes into 45 whole times. And 8 times 5 is 40. That gives me a remainder of 0. Okay, so that one's 0.875. The last one is one you should probably remember, but this one can also you can do with division. But you can also realize that, oh yeah, this is a fraction, an equivalent fraction that I can just read. 1/5 is equal to 2/10, and that is 0.2. Okay, on to the next bit. Whoops. So write each fraction, each decimal as a fraction or a mixed number. Let's do that really quickly. Okay, 0.6, you just read it. That's 6/10. You could reduce it, and that's fine, but even just reading a decimal gives you a fraction. 0.75 is 75 hundredths. You just read it. 2.5 is 2 5/10. This one has to be a mixed number. Well, you could make it an improper, but it asks you to do a mixed number. Okay, and this last one, this is a tricky one. There's a trick. If everything repeats in the decimal, after the decimal, then you know the denominator is going to be 9 or 99 or 999. And this is like 7/10, but it's a bit more. It's actually 7/9. Okay? If it were 0.3 repeating, it would be 3/9, also known as 1/3. If it were 0.27, the whole thing, 27, 27, 27, it would be 27/99, and so on. Okay, we're going to continue on with this number line business in another part, part 2, which you can follow along with. See you there.